The world can be a crazy place. Just when you think you're educated enough to understand how this crazy cosmic rock works, bam! Something truly peculiar happens, and we're all forced to admit that none of us are truly clever enough. An awful lot of strange things happen. Can you explain them? These are strange natural phenomena that happened on Earth. Number 15. Swarming Cuban land crabs. Playa Larga in Cuba is home to a very unusual phenomenon, and a regular one at that. It all begins when Cuba's dry season ends. In the surrounding areas and within the soggy forest of the Zapata Swamp, the new spring rain awakens something. As rain falls from the sky along Cuba's southern coast, strange creatures awaken and begin to stir. The land crabs that live there have finished mating for the season, and the rain is a sign the red, yellow, and black female crabs will soon leave their underground burrows. Doesn't sound that unusual, does it? The reality is, however, that they emerge by the millions. The sand is literally crawling with them, and it's a real sight to behold. They rush out, crab walking towards the ocean, where they plan to deposit their fertilized eggs into the waiting ocean. This phenomenon plays an important role in the coastal ecosystem in Playa Larga. With the migration of the crabs into the ocean, other ocean creatures recognize the time of year. They gather in the area to feed off the newly introduced food source. The unborn crabs don't have a hope. Sure is a tough world out there. Like this video, smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell right now, or Slenderman will come from under your bed while you're sleeping. Now it's time for the odd topic. This strange photograph captures the incredible moment an oddly red tidal wave erupted out of the waters. The photo was taken by a man named Nicola, who was a fisherman on this ship. A God-fearing, suspicious type, Nicola swears this red wave was a sign from God, and he swiftly quit his job, devoting himself to veganism as he feels the blood-colored water was a message that profiteering off the murder of animals is wrong. But photography experts have suggested that what is actually happening is that Nicola's camera angle has caught the sunrise blasting through the wave, giving it this odd tinge. Perhaps the water has high copper levels. What do you think? Remember to comment down below with the hashtag OddTopic and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. And now to the next topic. Number 14. The door to hell in Turkmenistan. It's hard to believe that a hell-like place can exist here on Earth, but it does. This pit of doom looks like something you would see in a science fiction movie or the latest video game. Located in the expansive Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan is a fire pit known throughout the world as the Gates to Hell.
Roger that, you're looking good. How do you feel?
Not only is its appearance terrifying, it is also incredibly fascinating. It is known to the locals as the Darvaza gas crater because it is located near the village of Darvaza, the home of just 350 residents. It's essentially a huge 230-foot wide hole that has been on fire for over 40 years. All attempts to put it out have failed, and it can still be seen glowing a fiery red for miles around. In 1971, a Soviet drilling mission went terribly wrong when a team of drillers struck a massive underground natural gas cavern. The natural gas cavern caused the ground to collapse, and the whole drilling rig fell through. The gas released was evacuating the hole at an alarming rate. The poisonous and extremely flammable gas continued pumping into the atmosphere. The drillers decided to burn off the fumes so that they could return to work. They lit the gas in the hope that it would burn off within a few weeks. But as we've discovered, it is still burning today. Not the best decision after all. Number 13. The Catatumbo Lightning in Venezuela. The Catatumbo lightning dance is an atmospheric phenomenon in Venezuela. It occurs over the mouth of the Catatumbo River, where it starts to enter into Lake Maracaibo. Around the world, many phenomena are caused by the atmospheric and climate condition, and the lightning dance is one of them. It leaves people who witness it dumbfounded as they try to figure out why it's happening. Mother Nature has a mind of its own and often leaves us stunned, questioning how on earth something could happen. But with the increase in today's technology, we're able to gain more clarification than ever before. This event in northwestern Venezuela is like no other. It's essentially a storm that happens on average 260 nights a year and up to 280 times per hour. It rages on for over 10 hours each night. The locals have named this phenomenon the Everlasting Storm and the Beacon of Maracaibo, and it's completely understandable given its power and light. The flashes of lightning are so strong that they can be seen by the naked eye from 250 miles away. Illuminating the lake, this phenomenon is said to be the result of the heat and moisture that is collected across the plains of the Maracaibo Lake. The combination of the wind blowing and the swampy area, an electrical charge is created. As the air masses are destabilized by the mountain ridges, a resulting thunderstorm occurs, and it is truly awe-inspiring. Number 12. Bioluminescent waves and caves. As a traveler, all you want is an amazing and unbelievable story, one that you can take home and share with your friends and family for many years to come. For an experienced traveler, witnessing bioluminescent waves and caves can provide that special story. Bioluminescence is the production and emission of light by a living organism. It commonly occurs in marine vertebrates and invertebrates, but also in other microorganisms found throughout caves and waterways. An obvious example is that of the firefly. Although this phenomenon isn't specific to a certain area, which makes it hard to venture out and find, this bioluminescence is a sight that every traveler wants to witness at least one time in their life. These creatures that make light also include bacteria, plankton, worms, snails, fish, jellyfish, and even sharks. By producing a light blue or white light, these animals help illuminate the darkness. Photos of this magical spectacle that bioluminescent critters create have been taken in forests full of fireflies, caves populated by glowworms, and deserted island shores. Many travelers plan to re-find the source of the light, making plans to visit these vacation spots annually. One common bioluminescent spot is Japan, where thousands of bright blue firefly squids surface, illuminating the shores. What an incredible sight for the lucky traveler to capture and remember. Number 11. Namibia's mysterious fairy circles. A fairy circle is a circular patch of barren land. These circular patches vary in size between 2 and 15 meters in diameter. They typically occur in monospecific grassy vegetation where conditions are particularly arid. These fairy circles are only known to occur in the dry grasslands of the Namib Desert, and until 2014, they seem to only appear in the western parts. In 2014, however, ecologists discovered similar rings of vegetation outside Africa in parts of Pilbara in Western Australia. So what created this phenomenon over hundreds of miles? Was it aliens? The whole landscape appears to be covered with polka dots, as the patches of vegetation are dispersed throughout the land. They look otherworldly and can even be seen on Google Maps. Local legends suggest that these circles may have been created by the gods leaving their footprints behind on Earth, and that the random arrangement may not be random at all. Researchers have suggested that these circles occur because of the high soil compaction and the clay content in the soil. These vegetation-free areas indicate that a fairy circle is formed by abiotic processes, mechanical weathering of the soil, and due to rain, extreme heat, and evaporation. Whatever the reason, they're definitely pretty cool, don't you think? Number 10. Tidal bore wave on the Amazon. This tidal bore is a rare natural phenomenon, which only occurs on several rivers that empty into the Bay of Fundy. This bay is located in the Canadian province of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. The tidal bore is created when a large surge, which is so strong, temporarily reverses the flow of the river, casting a rush or wave of water upriver. Another tidal bore is known as the Pororoca, which is a tidal bore that pushes the water with so much force that it creates waves of up to 13 feet high. These waves are capable of traveling as far as 500 miles inland. This tidal bore brings tourists from throughout the world who want to test their surfing skills while also seeing the beauty of the Amazon and adjacent rivers. It's different from most though, as it occurs where the mouth of the river meets the Atlantic Ocean. Many who have surfed this stretch of water say it's like surfing an endless wave. How incredible. A true must-see spot for any surfer, that's for sure. Number 9. Tanzania's Lake Natron. Located in northern Tanzania with a surface elevation of 600 meters, area span of 1,040 kilometers squared, and a length of 57 kilometers, Lake Natron is one of the strangest natural phenomena on the Earth today. Home to many fish, this is a mineral-rich soda lake close to the Kenyan border. The lake itself sits below El Doño Lengai, a huge active volcano in the Rift Valley, which is one of the reasons the water has a striking red coloration. A breeding area for hundreds of thousands of lesser flamingos, this area's trails lead into the Ngero Cerro waterfalls, which flow further through craggy rocks into natural pools. Oddly enough, this lake has a lot of animal activity surrounding it, even after legends suggest that it can turn animals to stone. The alkaline water of the lake has a pH reading as high as 10.5, meaning that it can burn the skin and eyes of animals that aren't adapted to it. This high pH is because of the sodium carbonate and minerals that flow into the lake, like the Dead Sea and Utah's Great Salt Lake. If you are intrigued and want to visit this area, make sure to heed all the warnings. Number 8. Lenticular clouds. These lens-shaped, flying saucer-like clouds are stationary clouds that form mostly in areas of the troposphere, the lowest layer of the Earth's atmosphere. There are 3 common types of lenticular clouds: altocumulus clouds or standing clouds, stratocumulus standing lenticular, and cirrocumulus standing lenticular.
Colorado sky can put on an amazing show of light, color, and clouds.
The main difference in these clouds is their position in the sky, traveling upwards into the atmosphere. Lenticular clouds form where stable moist air flows, and are typically located over a mountain or range of mountains. When the moist air flows, a series of large waves form on the mountainside. If the temperature drops, then the moisture in the air starts to condense to form this unique-looking cloud. As quickly as these clouds form, they can disappear just as fast. When the moist air moves back through the wave, the cloud begins to evaporate. These fast-forming clouds appear close to ground level. Because of these reasons, lenticular clouds are often mistaken for other flying objects, including UFOs. Number 7. Blood Falls, Antarctica. Blood Falls, located in Antarctica, is a natural phenomenon that definitely lives up to its name. It literally appears as though blood is running off the side of a massive ice block. Blood Falls is the name given to this specific area in Antarctica, named for its red, blood-like color. It was originally suggested that the color was due to the red algae found infesting the area.
Spends time at the surface. That's when it becomes oxidized and leaves this beautiful red color around.
This was deemed untrue by the Journal of Glaciology, who uncovered the true origin of the blood-like layer covering the ice. Research has shown that it's due to the outflow of iron oxide-tainted plume of saltwater which flows from the nearby Taylor Glacier. The iron-rich water emerges from the small cracks that have formed in the ice cascades over several years. These tiny outlets excrete these iron oxides into the ice, giving it its color. Antarctica's a great place for scientists to study, especially areas like this one. One of the harshest environments on Earth, it helps scientists understand the conditions that may be possible on other planets. The red color here could be what helps planets give off their reddish glow, and may hint at life elsewhere in the solar system. Now that's an intriguing thought, isn't it? Number 6. Death Valley's Moving Stones. Death Valley is a place where unnatural things tend to happen. Maybe that's why it's been given the bone-chilling name of Death Valley. The Death Valley National Park is a very strange place indeed. Known as one of the hottest places on Earth, it's also one of the driest and lowest elevation areas in North America, which makes it the perfect place for a natural phenomenon to occur. A mystery surrounds the racetrack Playa, a 7-kilometer squared scenic dry lake feature in the area. Here, a boulder seems to move completely by itself.
Today we're gonna visit the moving rocks of the racetrack.
The rocks are part of a geological phenomenon, where the rocks form and engrave a path along the smooth valley floor without any intervention at all. The movement of these large rocks occurs when the large ice sheets that form overnight, mainly during the winter seasons, begin to melt and break up. Slipping and sliding around, these rocks move position. On a sunny day, this process is sped up, giving the illusion that these huge rocks are moving alone. Number 5. Hidden Beach, Mexico. This special beach is found on Mexico's western side off the coast of Puerto Vallarta. Marietta Island is considered a phenomenon due to its remote, almost secret location. The trip there is also part of the fun. To get to the hidden beach, you must first take an hour-long boat journey. Once they reach the island, visitors have to swim or paddle through the Pacific waters to reach the sand. It is rumored that this hidden beach was created as a result of deliberate bombing. The bombing caused a hole, and that hole was then filled with water. The island has never been inhabited, which makes it an ideal site for military testing. From the early 1900s, the Mexican government has used the site to test weapons and artillery. They use the island because it is a safe distance away from Mexican citizens. Bombing has caused many new locations across Mexico, including caves, new rock formations, and even hidden beaches. Whether this is a good or a bad thing is no doubt a matter of opinion, I guess. Number 4. Frozen Bubbles, Canada. How cold does it need to be to freeze air pockets under the water's surface? Apparently, extremely cold. This lake is one of the most beautiful natural phenomena on the planet Earth. It is located underneath the water in the Vermilion Lakes in Banff National Park in Alberta, Canada. Underneath the frozen ice skating wonderland are frozen bubbles of methane gas. Normally, these bubbles are released by bacteria after they consume dead organic matter. They bubble to the surface, but in well below zero temperatures, they also freeze. The bubbles look like large, frozen pockets of air trying to make their way into the atmosphere, and it's a fascinating sight. Methane is explosive when set alight, so it's good that they weren't released. Photos have been taken of this natural phenomenon, which show the bubbles hitting the frozen surface as the photographer skates mere inches above. This phenomenon is a common occurrence throughout Canada, wherever the cold temperature and methane-causing bacteria meet. If you want to see it for yourself, you may want to check out the sites at Abraham Lake and Driving Icefields Parkway in Canada as well. Number 3. Pink Lake Hillier, Australia. It's amazing how a chemical reaction can change the color of something completely, just like a pink lake. This is a strange natural phenomenon indeed. Surrounded by eucalyptus and paperback trees, Lake Hillier is a saline lake on the edge of Middle Island. Middle Island is the largest of the islands and islets that make up the Recherche Archipelago in the Goldfields Esperance region. This region is off the south coast of Western Australia. The lake itself is famous for its pink coloration and is a real sight to behold. But how did it come about? In the early 20th century, salt was mined from the lake. It was discovered by navigator and cartographer Matthew Flinders in 1802. He took samples from the lake and mentioned its existence in his journal, A Voyage to Terra Australis. The color has been compared to a strawberry milkshake and is absolutely breathtaking. And the good news is that although it may look different, it is safe enough to swim in. But if you do, it's best not to drink it, as there may be unknown chemicals lying beneath. Although its beauty is amazing, it is not unique. Lake Hillier is not the only pink lake in Australia, and many others can be found throughout the world. Number 2. Light pillars. USA, Canada, Arctic. Light pillars are optical phenomenons that commonly occur in areas of the Arctic and regions that have low temperatures. When the atmosphere becomes extremely cold, flat ice crystals form in the air. This occurs close to the ground. Once formed, these crystals reflect natural and artificial light, taking on the color of the light source.
When sunlight is refracted through the edges, or reflects off the faces of these crystals,
this phenomenon can be seen in the USA, Canada, and Arctic, and other cold places across the globe. A colorful and extraordinary sight, it's basically a treat for those experiencing extremely cold weather. Photographers from all over the world travel to catch a glimpse and capture the brightly colored vertical pillars of light dazzling in the night sky. An example of this phenomenon was seen throughout Ohio up into Canada. The colors shown through these light pillars ranged between orange, green, red, yellow, and white. It was essentially like a nighttime rainbow. This was a rare sight for the South and was also seen a number of times across large portions of North America. Number 1. Turquoise ice. Russia. Russian photographer Alexei Trofimov sums up this strange natural phenomenon found on Earth well. He calls Laka Baikal, located in Siberia, the gemstone that does not need to be cut. Laka Baikal is a natural wonder on Earth. As it stands, it also holds a few notable records, namely being the deepest, largest, oldest, and clearest freshwater lake in the world. The phenomenon begins every winter when the temperature of the area plummets to well below zero. The crystal clear lake water forms a layer of ice. The ice itself is considered gem-like and has a beautiful glimmer in the sun. The large shards of ice that form on the surface give off a turquoise-colored appearance when observed in the right light. The lake contains approximately 20% of the Earth's surface water and is believed to be over 25 million years old, which makes it a real tourist hotspot even without its apparent gemstone qualities. When you're planning your big OE, you often think about the countries you might visit, the occasional landmark, and perhaps what work you might have to do to fund the trip. What you may not consider are the many natural phenomena that are also out there, like the Pink Lake, Blood Falls, and the strange moving stones at Death Valley. It might be time to revisit that list, don't you think? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time!